am Sister Miller with Singing Time Ideas that go along with the Come Follow Me lesson. And today we're talking about a queen who was very righteous in the Old Testament. Who could that be? And I asked the kids, some of them knew, some not. This is Esther. Esther was a queen in the Old Testament that chose the right. And so we are going to talk about her story today. So I wrote her story up here, and it's going to be kind of like a play. So basically we're going to read the story, but you know how to play. Something happens, and then they have to sing a song about it. And then something else happens, and they have to sing a song about it. So that's what we're going to do with Esther's life. So we start here. We have Mordecai was a Jew and raised Esther, who was an orphan Jew. So I made sure to point out that she did not start out as a queen. She started out as an orphan. And so we sang when we're helping her happy, because doesn't that make us happy when we help our family? Mordecai was a family. He wasn't her dad or mom, but he was family, and he helped out by raising her. And that's what we should do. We should always help our family. So since my whole goal for this lesson was to teach the kids that just like God had a work for Esther to do, he has a work for all of the kids, every single one of us, to do on this earth. And so we are going to be instruments in his hands. What does that mean? That means he's going to use us to do his work on this earth. And we have a great work to do. So I brought with me instruments. Now, I wish I could say that instruments are the greatest and you should buy them for your primary, but I really don't pull these out very often because they're so noisy and the kids just can't help but shake them and hit them. And even when we're singing the songs and we're using the instruments, it's still kind of loud and the music isn't really the priority. So I don't pull these out a lot, but sometimes I do, and today was a day that I did. And so everybody had an instrument, and I said, we have these to help us remember that we can be instruments in God's hands. He can use us to do his work, just like Esther. So with each of our songs, when we're helping, we're happy. This did not work with junior primary, but it did work with senior primary. The goal was to pass around the instruments and share. So we were supposed to shake them once. When we're happy, and then we pass. So we go, when we're happy, and we sing as we go. For we like to have mother, for we all love her so. La 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 la. So the goal was to shake it on that one beat and pass it. So it wasn't really fast. Did not work for junior primary. Senior primary could do it. And I don't think they got the whole message I was trying to get across of sharing, passing, helping each other, working together on something. So I don't know if you want to do that or not, but of course they had fun. And then we went on to our next part. Mordecai told Esther to go see if the king would pick her for his wife. And I just drew these stick figures in. You can get the printables that just has the words on there. You can draw your own pictures in if you want. And then I just lightly wrote in pencil on the bottom what I was going to have them do with their instruments for that song. So for this one, we say, she was sent to see if the king would pick her as a queen. And I bet her as an orphan didn't maybe believe that a king would want an orphan for a wife. But that's why we chose the song, I Know My Father Lives, because it says, he sent me here to earth by faith to live his plan. The Spirit whispers this to me and tells me that I can. I bet the Spirit whispered to Esther and told her that she could do it because God had a plan for her. So for this one, we did, I know my Father lives, boom, 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 and loves me to shake, shake, shake. The Spirit whispers this to me and tells me it is true, shake, 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 and tells me it is true, shake, shake, shake. So just doing the triple shakes at the end of the phrases. Moving on, we had the king married Esther, but a bad guy told the king to kill the Jews. And Mordecai told Esther to save them. What would you think if you had to save the Jews? Well, Esther, she had faith. She said, I will follow God's plan for me. If I perish, I perish. So we sang, I will follow God's plan, again, emphasizing to the kids that your life is a gift and your life has a plan. God has something for each one of you to do, and you can be instruments in his hands to do it. This one we did shake, shake, hit. Shake, shake, hit. And an important thing, if you do bring out instruments, don't make it very complicated. The more complicated you make it, the less likely they will be to sing, because their brains are going to be thinking about doing the stuff with the instruments and not singing. So this one went, my life is a gift, my life has a plan, my life has a purpose, in heaven it began. And even for junior primary, that's kind of hard. So if you want, just hit on the beat. My life is a gift, my life has a plan, my life has a purpose. Make it super, super simple for junior primary. Okay, then Esther risked her life to talk to the king. And then we sing, I will be valiant, because the Lord needs people who are brave, who are valiant, who will stand for the right, no matter what could happen. And that's what Esther did. She was willing to do what God needed her to do, even though she could die. So, I will be valiant. For this one, you can go pat, pat, get, pat, pat, get. The Lord needs valiant servants to do his work in the latter day. And then when I get to the end, I want to really emphasize it. So we go, I'll stand for truth, I'll stand for right. The Lord can depend on me. All right, just like the Lord could depend on Esther to do what she needed to do, even though it was hard, to do his work, which was to save the Jews. So, the Jews were saved, yay! She was an instrument in God's hands, and God has a work for every one of you to do, and you can be an instrument in his hands. So then we sing, choose to serve the Lord, because of course the very first part we talk about Queen Esther's story shows me that I can stand for right. And for this one, we did Queen Esther's story shows me that I can stand for right. Elijah taught that angels protect me back by side. Like David I can slay, Goliath is in my way. Like Deborah I can win my best pride. So every character we switch. So from one character we pat, one character we shake, and then when we get to the chorus, choose to serve the Lord. And back to patting. So it's still the same thing. You're still doing the pats and the shakes, but you're just adding the rainbow. So I will choose to serve the Lord like my scripture heroes of old. As I run in faith, God will be my strength. Every step I take, I will choose to serve the Lord. Okay, I feel like all of these songs could have been done also with rhythm sticks or just pencils. In fact, pencils is a good idea because you can talk about how a pencil is even an instrument. It's a writing instrument, and how there's all kinds of instruments. God can use you for different things. Anyway, I think you could do any of these with rhythm sticks if you want, especially if you have these textured ones that you can go back and forth on. So like, my life is a gift, my life has a plan, my life has a purpose, in heaven it began. So you could use any kind of instrument, or just don't use the instruments and just go through the story, kind of like a play. Tell a part of the story, sing a song to go along with it. Tell another part of the story, sing a song to go along with it. My stick figures are not that great, but I'll kind of give you an up-close look at them in case you wanted to copy them. There's Esther as a little orphan, and I used to have eyelashes on her, but then when I went over with the crayon, it made her eyes look weird. And there you have Bad Haman and the king. You have Esther kneeling down. There's the king putting forth the scepter, which I wish I had made yellow or gold. And then the happy Jews were saved. Good luck with this, and always, before you let kids use instruments, remember to tell them that it's a privilege to use instruments and that they need to be respectful and only use them when you tell them to, because you don't want to turn it into mayhem. I hope these ideas helped you. I would love to hear your comments below. We'll see you next week.